Awakening the relic. The vast void of space surrounding Rios II was serene, punctuated only by the distant stars twinkling like tiny beacons of hope. Yet, this tranquility was a facade, masking the impending storm of war. Hovering above the planet was an ancient relic of humanity's past, the U.S. New Jersey, a 20th-century warship now serving as a floating museum piece. Today, however, this relic would rise to prominence once more. U.S. New Jersey comes to life. Aboard the Orion flagship Celestial Wrath, Supreme Commander Pryor smirked at the holographic display. The energy readings from the USS New Jersey were rising, but he dismissed them as sensor malfunctions. After all, how could an antiquated human warship possibly stand against the might of the Orion fleet? His confidence was palpable as he gave the order to begin the attack on the human colony below. The New Jersey's decks shuddered as its dormant systems sprang to life. Deep within its hull, Chief Engineer Mendes and his team worked tirelessly to revive the ship's ancient fusion reactors. Sweat dripped from Mendes' brow as he barked commands, his hands moving with precision over the control panels. "Come on, baby, wake up," he muttered, and as if responding to his plea, the reactors roared to life with a deep, resonant hum. Preparing for battle. On the bridge, Captain Charles Evans gripped the armrests of his command chair, his eyes fixed on the tactical display showing the Orion fleet moving into attack formation. The bridge was bathed in red battle lighting, casting an ominous glow over the crew members as they scrambled to their stations. The ship's AI, a booming female voice, echoed through the halls, rallying the crew with words of determination and defiance. "All hands, prepare for combat. We are the last line of defense. There will be no retreat, no surrender. If we fall, the Orion Empire will turn this planet's human colonists into slaves or corpses. We fight to the last. We hold the line for Earth, for humanity. Give them hell." The battle begins. The Orion fleet surged forward, their assault shuttles loaded with soldiers and tanks, fighters launching in swarms. Pryor sneered as he watched the humans' meager defenses come online. "Primitive," he muttered, convinced of an easy victory. But as the New Jersey's main railguns charged and its missile batteries primed, the Orions were about to receive a rude awakening. "Fire a warning shot across their bow," Captain Evans ordered. The railgun roared, the projectiles streaking through the void at a fraction of the speed of light, narrowly missing the Celestial Wrath but sending a clear message. The Orion flagship's shields flared as they absorbed the kinetic energy, and Pryor was thrown from his command chair by the violent shudder that followed. "Return fire," Pryor bellowed, his confidence shaken. Plasma torpedoes and particle beams lanced through space towards the New Jersey. The Dreadnought's thick armor and newly restored shields held firm, absorbing and deflecting the barrage. Evans remained calm, his voice steady as he issued orders to his crew. "Human defiance. Return fire, all batteries engage at will," he commanded. The New Jersey's secondary armaments roared to life, laser cannons and missile launchers unleashing their fury. The space between the two fleets became a maelstrom of destruction, with shields flaring, hulls buckling, and ships dying in brilliant flashes of light. On the ground, the colony trembled as Orion assault shuttles landed, their ramps slamming open to release waves of soldiers. The colonists, armed with whatever they could find, prepared to defend their homes against the invaders. The battle for Rios II had begun, and the outcome was far from certain. Holding the line, Captain Evans' voice rang out over the ship-wide comms, filled with conviction and resolve. This ship was built to protect humanity, and that mission stands true today. The colonists down there are counting on us. Earth is counting on us. We will hold the line. We will not fail. Grim faces nodded around the bridge, each crew member steeling themselves for the fight of their lives. They knew the odds, knew this could be their last battle, but they also knew they were human, and humans did not go quietly. As the Orion fleet bore down on them, the U.S. and New Jersey surged forward, ready to give everything in defense of their home. Clash of Titans. Escalating conflict. The first clash between the U.S. New Jersey and the Oran fleet was a cacophony of destruction, but it was only the beginning. As the initial barrage subsided, both sides took stock of their situation. Captain Evans reviewed the damage reports streaming in from all over the ship. Minor hull breaches, shield fluctuations, but nothing critical yet. The New Jersey had withstood the initial onslaught, but the real test was just beginning. Status on enemy forces, Evans asked, his voice cutting through the controlled chaos of the bridge. Lieutenant Hernandez, her face lit by the glow of her targeting displays, responded swiftly. Enemy fleet regrouping, sir. Looks like they're preparing for a coordinated strike. Strategic maneuvers. Evans nodded, considering their next move. Mendez, how are those engines holding up? Engines are stable, Captain. We can maneuver, but not for long if we keep taking hits like that. Mendez replied, his voice crackling over the comm. Understood. Helm, bring us around to Vector 4. Let's give them a taste of our maneuverability, Evans commanded. The New Jersey turned gracefully, positioning itself to make the most of its restored weapon systems. Engagement tactics. The Oran fleet, having recovered from the shock of the initial encounter, moved in a tight formation. Pryor, regaining his composure, was determined to crush the human resistance. Focus all firepower on that ship. It cannot be allowed to interfere with our ground operations, he ordered. As the enemy closed in, the New Jersey's gunners were ready. Target the lead ships, aim for their engines, Evans ordered. The rail guns fired again, accompanied by a volley of missiles and laser blasts. The orange ship's shields flared under the assault, some buckling under the concentrated fire. The human spirit. Despite the technological disparity, the human crew's determination and ingenuity began to show. They used the New Jersey's mobility to outmaneuver the slower Oran ships, picking them off one by one. Each victory, no matter how small, was a testament to human resilience. In the engine room, Mendez and his team worked miracles, rerouting power, stabilizing damaged systems, and keeping the ship in the fight. We're holding together, Captain, but only just, Mendez reported, his voice strained but unwavering. Ground assault. Meanwhile, on the surface of Rios IV, the colonists faced the full brunt of the Oran ground assault. Plasma bolts streaked through the air, and the sound of explosions echoed through the settlement. The colonists, ordinary people turned warriors, fought with a ferocity born of desperation. They knew their survival depended on the New Jersey holding the line above. Among the defenders was Sarah, a former engineer who now led a Rector group of militia. "We hold this position," she yelled over the din of battle. "We can't let them through to the civilians." Her team responded with a unified roar, their resolve matching that of the crew in orbit. Turning the tide. Back in space, the New Jersey's relentless assault began to turn the tide. One by one, Oran ships were disabled or destroyed, their formations breaking apart under the sustained human attack. Supreme Commander Pryor's frustration grew with each passing moment. "How is this possible?" he fumed. "A single human ship can't defeat us." But it wasn't just a ship. It was the spirit of humanity, that unyielding determination to protect their own, that drove the New Jersey and its crew. Evans knew this, and he used it to rally his crew. "Keep pushing. We have them on the ropes," he shouted, his voice filled with unwavering confidence. The New Jersey's guns rolled again, sending another orange ship to its fiery demise. Hope and despair. On the ground, Sarah's militia fought with everything they had. The Oran soldiers, though technologically superior, were not prepared for the sheer tenacity of the human defenders. "Hold the line," Sarah cried, her voice a beacon of hope amid the chaos. But even as they pushed back the invaders, the cost was high. Friends and family fell around her, and the settlement lay in ruins. Still, they fought on, driven by the same spirit that kept the New Jersey in the fight. Victory in sight. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the tide was turning. The Oran fleet, now reduced to a fraction of its strength, began to retreat. Pryor's confidence had turned to desperation. "All units fall back," he ordered, unwilling to accept defeat but unable to deny the reality. On the bridge of the New Jersey, a cheer went up as the enemy began to withdraw. "We did it, Captain," Hernandez explained, her voice filled with relief. Evans allowed himself a rare smile. "We did, but this isn't over yet. We need to secure the colony and make sure they don't come." Securing the colony. Aftermath of the battle. The once serene skies above Rios II were now filled with the debris of a fierce battle. The remnants of the Oran fleet retreated, leaving behind wreckage and the faint glow of dying fires. The U.S. and New Jersey, though battered, remained a symbol of defiance and victory. On the bridge, Captain Charles Evans took a moment to assess the situation. "Status report," Evans called out, his voice cutting through the subdued tension. Lieutenant Hernandez quickly responded, her fingers flying over her console. "Minimal hull damage. Shields are holding but need recharging. We've lost some secondary systems, but overall we're operational." "Good," Evans replied, his mind already moving to the next phase. "Mendes, how's the engine room?" "Stable for now, Captain. We could use some downtime for repairs, but we can keep her running," Mendes responded, the fatigue evident in his voice. "A call for reinforcements." Evans turned to the communications officer. "Get me a line to Earth Command. We need reinforcements and relief supplies for the colony, and send a message to the colony leadership. We're moving to secure the area." As the messages were relayed, Evans addressed the crew. "We've won the first round, but we can't let our guard down. The Orans might be back. Let's make sure we're ready." Ground operations. On the surface of Rios IV, the scene was one of devastation mixed with resilience. The colonists, wary but determined, were regrouping and tending to the wounded. Sarah, the militia leader, moved among them, offering words of encouragement and organizing defensive positions. "Sarah, this is the New Jersey. We're sending down medical supplies and reinforcement teams. Hang tight, help is on the way," came Evans' voice over the comms. "Understood, Captain. We'll hold out." "Thank you," Sarah responded, a surge of relief washing over her. She turned to her group. "All right, everyone, let's get these defenses shored up. We've got reinforcements coming, but we need to be ready for anything." Medical and engineering teams deploy. Shuttles from the New Jersey descended, carrying medical teams, engineers, and additional supplies. As they touched down, they were met with cheers and grateful faces. The engineers immediately set to work, repairing damaged infrastructure and fortifying defenses. The medical teams spread out, treating the injured and ensuring everyone had the care they needed. Mendes himself led the engineering team, his experience invaluable in the chaotic environment. "Let's get those generators back online and see if we can boost the shield output around the settlement," he directed, moving with purpose through the rubble. Building alliances. Evans knew that securing the colony wasn't just about defense. It was also about building alliances and ensuring the colonists felt supported. He made his way to the surface to meet with Sarah and the colony's leaders. "Captain Evans, welcome," Sarah greeted him, extending a hand. "Your timing was impeccable. We owe you our lives." Evans shook her hand firmly. "We're all in this together. My crew and I are here to help. What do you need most right now?" Sarah nodded, appreciating his straightforward approach. "Supplies and medical aid are our immediate needs. But we also need to coordinate our defenses better. The Orans won't give up easily." Strategic planning. Evans and Sarah, along with other colony leaders, gathered in a makeshift command center. They spread out maps and schematics, discussing strategies and allocating resources. "We need to reinforce these choke points," Sarah pointed out, tracing key locations on the map. "If they come back, we'll make it costly for them." Evans agreed, adding, We'll position some of our heavy weaponry here and here, and we'll set up a command relay to ensure we can communicate quickly and efficiently. Training and preparation. The days that followed were a flurry of activity. The colonists, many of whom had no prior military experience, underwent training sessions led by the New Jersey's Marines. They learned how to handle weapons, set up defenses, and coordinate their efforts in case of another attack. Keep your movements tight and controlled, a Marine instructed, demonstrating a firing stance. Remember, you're protecting your homes and families. That gives you an edge. Sarah took part in the training, setting an example for her people. Her determination and leadership inspired confidence and unity among the colonists. Reinforcements arrive. 2 weeks after the initial battle, additional ships from Earth Command arrived. The reinforcements brought more supplies, advanced medical facilities, and heavy weaponry. The sight of the fleet bolstered the colony's morale and gave them a renewed sense of security. Evans met with the commanding officer of the reinforcement fleet, Colonel Harris. "Welcome, Colonel. Glad to have you here." "Glad to be here, Captain. We've reviewed your reports. Looks like you did a hell of a job. The Oran counterattack. A temporary calm." The reinforced colony of Rios IUI experienced a brief period of calm. The colonists and the crew of the US and New Jersey worked side by side, strengthening their defenses and rebuilding what was lost. The presence of Earth Command reinforcements provided a sense of security, but everyone knew it was only a matter of time before the Orans returned. Captain Evans stood on the bridge of the New Jersey, looking out at the planet below. His mind was occupied with thoughts of the upcoming challenges. He knew the Orans wouldn't accept their defeat lightly. "Hernandez, any signs of Oran activity?" he asked, his voice steady. "Nothing yet, Captain, but we're keeping a close watch on the long-range scanners," Hernandez replied, her eyes scanning the data feeds. Oran fleet reappears. The silence was broken 2 days later when the long-range sensors detected an incoming fleet. "Captain, we've got multiple contacts on the edge of our sensor range. It looks like the Orans are coming back, and they're bringing reinforcements," Hernandez reported, her voice tense. Evans nodded, a steely determination settling over him. "All hands, battle stations. Let's show them we're ready." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person knowing their role. The ship's systems powered up, and the familiar hum of the engines filled the air. Evans activated the ship-wide comm. "This is it, people. We faced them once and won. We can do it again. Hold the line for Rios IUI." Preparing for battle. On the surface, Sarah and the other colony leaders were already mobilizing their forces. "We knew this was coming," Sarah said, rallying her people. "We've trained for this. We've prepared. Now it's time to defend our home." Colonists and Marines alike took up positions along the fortified perimeter. Heavy weapons were manned, and the defenses were activated. The atmosphere was tense but resolute. Back on the New Jersey, Evans coordinated with Colonel Harris. "Colonel, we'll need a coordinated strike. If we can split their forces, we can take them down piecemeal." Harris nodded, his expression grim. "Agreed. Our ground forces will handle the assault shuttles. You take care of the fleet. Let's make them regret coming back." The first salvo. The Oran fleet emerged from hyperspace, their ships glinting menacingly against the backdrop of stars. The New Jersey opened fire, its railguns and missile batteries unleashing a barrage of destruction. The Oran ships responded in kind, and the void between the fleets was filled with streaks of energy and explosions. "Focus fire on the lead ship," Evans commanded. "If we take out their flagship, it'll throw them into disarray." The New Jersey's main guns roared, targeting the Oran flagship. The first salvo impacted the enemy ship's shields, causing them to flare and crackle. The second salvo breached the shields, and the ship shuddered under the assault. Ground assault. While the space battle raged above, Oran assault shuttles descended towards the colony. Anti-aircraft batteries and ground-based defenses opened fire, filling the skies with flak and laser beams. Many shuttles were destroyed before they could land, but some managed to break through. Sarah led her forces to intercept the landing parties. "Hold the line. Don't let them breach the perimeter," she shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. The colonists fought with determination, their training and preparation paying off. They used the terrain and fortifications to their advantage, making the Orans pay dearly for every inch of ground. Turning the tide. On the New Jersey, the battle was reaching a critical point. The Oran flagship, heavily damaged, began to falter. "One more hit should do it," Hernandez said, targeting the weakened ship. "Fire," Evans ordered. The final salvo struck true, and the Oran flagship exploded in a blinding flash of light. The remaining Oran ships, now leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat. "We've got them on the run," Hernandez exclaimed, a rare smile breaking across her face. "Don't let up. Keep the pressure on," Evans instructed. "Let's drive them out of our system." Victory on the ground. On the surface, Sarah and her forces had managed to repel the Oran landing parties. The remaining Orans, seeing their fleet in disarray, began to fall back. The colonists cheered as the last of the invaders were pushed back, their determination and unity having won the day. "We did it," Sarah said, her voice filled with relief and pride. "We held the line." Aftermath and reflection. The battle was over, but the work was far from finished. The colony needed to rebuild once again, and the defenses had to be strengthened even further. Evans and Sarah met to discuss the next steps. "Captain, I can't thank you enough," Sarah said. "Without you and your crew, we wouldn't have stood a chance." "We're all in this together," Evans replied. "We'll stay as long as we're needed. The Orans won't give up, but neither will we." As they spoke, messages of congratulations and support poured in from Earth and other human colonies. The victory at Rios HFY had become a symbol of human resilience and determination. A new beginning. With the immediate threat repelled, the focus shifted to rebuilding and strengthening the colony. New defenses were constructed, and the colonists began to reclaim their lives. The bond between the colonists and the crew of the New Jersey grew stronger, forged in the heat of battle and tempered by shared resolve. Evans stood on the bridge of the New Jersey, looking out at the stars. "We've shown them what we're capable of," he said quietly, "and we're just getting started." The story of Rios HFY became a legend, a tale of defiance and unity that inspired others across the galaxy. It was a testament to the unbreakable spirit of humanity, a spirit that would continue to shine brightly in the face of any challenge. Uncovering the Oran plot. A troubling discovery. The aftermath of the Oran assault left the colonists and the crew of the US and New Jersey with a moment of hard-won peace. However, Captain Charles Evans couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Something about the ferocity and determination of the Oran attack suggested a deeper motive. On the bridge of the New Jersey, Lieutenant Hernandez monitored the incoming data from the battlefield. "Captain, we've intercepted some Oran transmissions. They're heavily encrypted, but there's something here you might want to see," she reported. "Patch it through to my console," Evans replied. As he reviewed the data, Evans' eyes narrowed. "This isn't just a random attack. The Orans are looking for something specific," he murmured. "An ancient secret." Evans called a meeting with his senior staff, including Sarah and Colonel Harris. "The Oran transmissions we intercepted suggest they're searching for something on Rios HFY," Evans began. "Something important enough to launch a major offensive." Sarah frowned. "But what could they possibly want here? We're just a colony." "That's what we need to find out," Evans said. "Lieutenant Hernandez and our intelligence team are working on decrypting the rest of the transmissions. In the meantime, we need to explore any clues that might help us understand what the Orans are after." Exploring the colony. The search for answers led Evans, Sarah, and a small team to an ancient ruin on the outskirts of the colony. The site had been discovered by the initial colonists, but had never been fully explored due to its remote location and the focus on building the settlement. This place has been here for centuries, Sarah explained as they approached the ruins. We always assumed it was just remnants of a long-forgotten civilization. Evans studied the stone structures and faded inscriptions. The Orans wouldn't launch a major attack over ruins. There's something more here. As they delved deeper into the ruins, they discovered a hidden chamber beneath the main structure. The chamber was filled with ancient artifacts and inscriptions in an unknown language. These inscriptions, Evans said, examining one closely. They looked like they could be coordinates or a map. Decrypting the message. Back on the New Jersey, Lieutenant Hernandez and her team finally cracked the Oran encryption. The decoded message revealed that the Orans believed Rios HFY held a powerful artifact, one that could tip the balance of power in their favor. Captain, the Orans think there's a weapon or device here that could change everything, Hernandez reported. We need to find it before they do. Evans nodded, a sense of urgency in his eyes. We need to figure out what this artifact is and secure it. If it's as powerful as the Orans believe, it could be the key to our survival. A race against time. The discovery sparked a race against time. Evans coordinated with Sarah and Colonel Harris to launch a full-scale exploration of the ruins. Engineers, archaeologists, and Marines worked together, uncovering more chambers and deciphering ancient texts. As they pieced together the clues, it became clear that the artifact was not just a weapon, but a source of immense energy. This could power entire fleets, maybe even create defensive shields strong enough to withstand any attack, Sarah said, her voice filled with awe. We need to secure it and make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, Evans replied. Oran reinforcements arrive. Just as they were closing in on the artifact's location, the sensors picked up a new wave of Oran ships entering the system. Captain, we've got incoming. Oran reinforcements, Hernandez warned. Evans' expression hardened. They must have figured out we're close. All hands, prepare for battle. We need to hold them off long enough to secure the artifact. Defending the ruins. The New Jersey and the colony's defenses were mobilized once again. The skies above Rios II lit up with a fierce exchange of fire as the Orans launched their assault. On the ground, Sarah and her militia held the perimeter around the ruins, determined to protect the discovery at all costs. Hold the line. We can't let them through, Sarah shouted, rallying her troops. Inside the ruins, Evans and a team of engineers worked frantically to extract the artifact. We're almost there, Mendes reported, his voice strained with effort. Just a few more minutes. The artifact unveiled. With the Orans closing in, the engineers finally managed to free the artifact from its ancient resting place. It was a crystalline structure, pulsating with energy. We've got it, Mendes explained. Evans, to all units, we have the artifact. Fall back to the extraction point, Evans ordered. As the team retreated with the artifact, the New Jersey provided covering fire, its weapons blazing. The combined efforts of the colony's defenses and the New Jersey managed to hold the Orans at bay, just long enough for the artifact to be secured. A narrow escape. With the artifact safely aboard the New Jersey, Evans ordered a tactical retreat. The Orans, realizing they were too late, began to withdraw, but not before causing significant damage to the colony and its defenders. We've got what we came for, but we've paid a heavy price, Evans said, looking out at the damaged colony. We need to regroup and figure out our next move. The artifact's potential. Back on the New Jersey, the artifact was placed in a secure containment unit. Scientists and engineers immediately began studying it, trying to unlock its secrets. This could be the key to our survival, Evans said to Sarah as they watched the analysis from the observation deck. But it's also a great responsibility. We need to ensure it's used wisely. Sarah nodded. We'll do whatever it takes to protect our people, and with this, we might just have a fighting chance. A new chapter begins. The discovery of the artifact marked the beginning of a new chapter for the colony of Rios IE and the crew of the US and New Jersey. It was a symbol of hope and a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of humanity. As the repairs continued and the defenses were strengthened, the colonists and the crew knew that the fight was far from over. But they also knew that together, they could face whatever challenges lay ahead. Evans stood on the bridge, the artifact's glow reflecting in his eyes. "We've made it this far," the ultimate showdown. Tensions rising. With the artifacts secured and the Oran forces temporarily repelled, the atmosphere on Rios Isle was one of cautious optimism. Repairs were underway, and the colonists were beginning to rebuild once again. However, Captain Evans knew that the Orans would not give up so easily. The artifact's potential was too great, and the stakes had never been higher. In the engineering bay of the US and New Jersey, Chief Engineer Mendez and his team worked tirelessly to understand the artifact. "Captain, this thing is incredible," Mendez said, looking up from his console. "It could revolutionize our energy systems, even our weaponry. But we need more time to fully harness its power." "Time is something you might not have, Chief," Evans replied, his voice grim. "The Orans will be back, and in greater numbers. We need to be ready." Preparing for the inevitable. On the surface, Sarah and Colonel Harris coordinated with the colonists to fortify their defenses. New bunkers were built and advanced weaponry was installed. The colony was becoming a fortress, ready to withstand another assault. "Captain, we're picking up increased chatter on the Oran frequencies," Lieutenant Hernandez reported. "It looks like they're mobilizing their entire fleet." Evans nodded, a determined look in his eyes. "This is it. They're coming for the artifact, and they won't stop until they have it. All hands, prepare for the ultimate showdown." Oran's superweapon. As the Oran fleet approached, it became clear that they had a new weapon of their own. A massive, ominous ship, unlike anything seen before, led their armada. "Captain, sensors are detecting an enormous energy signature from that lead ship," Hernandez said, her voice tinged with fear. "It looks like some kind of superweapon." Evans stared at the display, realizing the gravity of the situation. "We need to take that ship out, or it's all over." Hernandez, target their weapon systems. "We can't let them use that thing." Battle commences. The skies above Rios II erupted into chaos as the Oran fleet arrived. The US and New Jersey and the colony's defenses unleashed a barrage of firepower, but the Orans were relentless. The massive lead ship loomed over the battlefield, its weapon systems charging ominously. "Focus all fire on that lead ship," Evans commanded. "We need to bring it down before it can fire." The New Jersey's guns roared, and missiles streaked towards the Oran superweapon. The enemy ship's shields flared under the onslaught, but they held strong. Desperate measures. On the ground, Sarah and her forces were fighting fiercely against Oran landing parties. Plasma bolts and laser fire crisscrossed the battlefield, and the air was filled with the sounds of combat. "We can't hold them much longer," Sarah shouted, her voice barely audible over the din of battle. "We need that artifact operational now." In the engineering bay, Mendez and his team worked frantically to integrate the artifact into the New Jersey systems. "Captain, we're ready to channel the artifact's energy into our main weapons," Mendez reported, sweat pouring down his face. "Do it," Evans ordered. "We don't have a choice." Unleashing the artifact. The New Jersey's main guns began to glow with a strange, otherworldly light as the artifact's energy was channeled into them. "Target that lead ship and fire everything we've got," Evans commanded. The New Jersey unleashed a torrent of energy, striking the Oran's superweapon with unprecedented force. The enemy ship's shields buckled and then shattered under the onslaught. The hull groaned and twisted as explosions ripped through it. Direct hit. "Their weapon systems are down," Hernandez exclaimed, a cheer going up from the bridge crew. Turning the tide. With the Oran superweapon disabled, the tide of the battle began to turn. The New Jersey and the colony's defenses pressed their advantage, driving the Oran fleet back. One by one, the enemy ships began to retreat, their morale broken. On the ground, the Oran soldiers, now leaderless and disorganized, were quickly overwhelmed by the colonists and marines. Sarah led a final charge, pushing the invaders out of the colony once and for all. A Pyrrhic victory. As the last of the Oran ships fled, a weary but triumphant cheer went up from the defenders. The battle was won, but at a great cost. The colony had suffered heavy damage, and many lives had been lost. Evans stood on the bridge of the New Jersey, looking out at the battlefield. "We did it," he said quietly, "but we've paid a heavy price." Sarah joined him on the bridge, her face lined with exhaustion and determination. "We've proven that we can stand up to them," she said, "but we need to make sure this never happens again." A new era. In the days that followed, the colony and the New Jersey began the process of rebuilding once more. The artifact, now safely integrated into the ship's systems, provided a beacon of hope for the future. Messages of support and congratulations poured in from Earth and other human colonies. The victory at Rios HFY had become a symbol of human resilience and determination. Evans stood on the observation deck, looking out at the stars. "We've faced the worst they could throw at us, and we've come through stronger," he said. Sarah nodded beside him. "The Orans won't stop, but neither will we. We'll keep fighting, and we'll keep building. For Rios HFY, for Earth, for humanity." As they looked out at the stars, they knew that the battle for Rios HFY was just the beginning. A new era of exploration and conflict awaited them, but the beacon of hope, aftermath of victory. The victory at Rios HFY had secured a fragile peace, but the scars of battle were evident everywhere. The colony was a mixture of rebuilding efforts and mourning for those lost. Captain Evans and his crew worked tirelessly to assist the colonists, but the weight of the future hung heavily over them. In the command center, Evans and Sarah reviewed the latest reports. "The colony's infrastructure is stabilizing, but we've still got a long way to go," Sarah said, pointing to various damaged sectors on a holographic map. "We've shown the Orans that humanity is not to be underestimated," Evans replied. "But we need to be prepared for their next move. We can't afford to be caught off guard again." A gathering of allies. Recognizing the need for greater support, Evans sent out a call to other human colonies and allied species. The response was overwhelming. Representatives from across the galaxy arrived on Rios HFY, bringing supplies, technology, and expertise. Wood. One of the first to arrive was Admiral Thorne, an old friend of Evans and a highly respected figure in the human fleet. "Charles, it's good to see you," Thorne said, clasping Evans' hand. "You've done something remarkable here." "We couldn't have done it without the bravery of the colonists and my crew," Evans replied. "But we need to turn this victory into a lasting alliance." Planning for the future. In a large assembly hall, representatives from various colonies and species gathered. The room buzzed with discussions and the exchange of ideas. Evans and Sarah took the stage to address the crowd. "Thank you all for coming," Evans began. "The battle for Rios HFY was a turning point, but it's clear that the Orans will not stop. We must stand together if we are to protect our homes and our way of life." Sarah stepped forward, her voice firm and passionate. "We propose the formation of a united defense force, combining our strengths and resources. Together, we can build a future where our children are safe from the threat of the Oran Empire." Formation of the coalition. The proposal was met with enthusiastic support. Over the next few weeks, the groundwork for the new coalition was laid. Engineers and scientists from different worlds collaborated on advanced defense systems, while military leaders developed coordinated strategies. "We're not just building a defense," Admiral Thorne said during one meeting. "We're creating a symbol of unity and hope. The Orans thrive on fear and division. We will show them that we are stronger together." Unlocking the artifact's power. Meanwhile, Chief Engineer Mendes and his team continued to study the artifact. Its potential seemed limitless, and unlocking its full power became a top priority. "We've integrated the artifact into our energy grid, But there's so much more we can do, Mendes explained. Working with scientists from other colonies, Mendes discovered new applications for the artifact's energy. It could enhance shield technology, power advanced weaponry, and even support large-scale terraforming projects. Captain, this artifact could revolutionize everything, Mendes said, his eyes shining with excitement. It's not just a weapon, it's a tool for building a better future. The Orans strike back. Just as progress was being made, the Orans launched a surprise attack on a nearby human outpost. The news sent shockwaves through the coalition. "They're testing our resolve," Evans said grimly. "We need to respond quickly and decisively." The coalition's newly formed fleet mobilized, with the US as New Jersey at the forefront. The battle was fierce, but the combined strength and coordination of the coalition forces overwhelmed the Orans. "We've sent a clear message," Admiral Thorne said after the victory. "The coalition is strong, and we will not be intimidated." Building a legacy. With the immediate threat neutralized, attention turned back to strengthening the coalition. The artifact's technology was shared among the Allies, leading to rapid advancements. Colonies that had once struggled to survive now thrived, protected by the coalition's might. Evans and Sarah stood on the observation deck of the New Jersey, looking out at the bustling activity below. "We've come a long way," Evans said, "but there's still so much to do." "We've built something incredible," Sarah replied. "A beacon of hope for humanity and our allies. The Orans may come again, but we're ready." A new beginning. The story of Rios IE and the coalition spread throughout the galaxy, inspiring others to join the cause. New alliances were formed, and the spirit of unity grew stronger. The artifact, once a symbol of fear, had become a catalyst for progress and cooperation. Captain Evans addressed the coalition's leaders one last time before setting off on a new mission. "We've shown that together, we can achieve the impossible. The future is ours to shape, and we will face whatever challenges come our way with courage and determination." As the US and New Jersey departed on its next journey, the colony of Rios IY stood as a testament to the power of unity and resilience. The coalition had become a force for good, a beacon of hope in a galaxy filled with uncertainty. Epilogue. The legacy continues. Years passed, and the coalition continued to thrive. New technologies and discoveries propelled humanity and its allies into an era of unprecedented prosperity. The memory of the battles fought and the lives lost remained, serving as a reminder of the cost of freedom. Captain Evans, now an admiral, watched as a new generation took up the mantle of leadership. The spirit of Rios IY lived on in their hearts, a legacy of courage, unity, and hope.